Salutation to the neutral self, primal light. Hail, hail. Salutation to our parent self, primal light. Hail, hail. Salutation to I self supreme, primal light. Salutation to the sun. Hail, light in the world for all to see. Holding the balance in duality. Primal light, pure consciousness be. Hail, hail to the self supreme, the neutral self, primal light, one and only unicorn, warrior for the cause, allowing the world just because all is one in myriads of forms. Hail, 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 hail. Salutation to the self-supreme. Hail, hail to the neutral self, primal light. Hail, hail to the world's heart, holding the balance scale. On the battlefield in a dual fate, fighting for the lost souls to be free. Oh, primal light, Mother Supreme. Oh, primal light, Mother Supreme, win the victory. Victory, win the victory. Victory, win the victory. All souls are free. All selves are free. Victory, victory, victory. The world is balanced, the world is harmony. Victory, victory. Oh, primal light, Mother Supreme. Hey, hey, hey. Salutation to I self supreme, neutral self, primal light. Hail to I self supreme, supreme sun, Aten Ra, the atom. Hail, hail to the supreme sun. If you close your eyes, the world goes into dark. Recreate the world, give it a new start. Non-dual world, non-dual beings, non-dual pure consciousness. Oh, primal light, Mother Supreme. Oh, primal light, Mother Supreme, win the victory. Victory, win the victory. Oh, win the victory. Win the victory. Victory. All souls are free. Victory. All selves are free. Victory. The world is balanced. The world is harmony. I self is balance, I self is harmony. Victory, victory, victory. All is I and I, unity, victory. Yes, victory, victory, victory. Victory, victory, victory. Victory. I is victorious. Yes. Welcome. Welcome. Thank the I for joining I. Much honor to the I. The battle to remove the ego off of the I self. This is a battle. There is a battle going on. The I self is having a battle with the ego false self. Right now, there is a battle going on. There is a battle going on right now to remove the ego off of the self so that the I self can wake up. Know that the ego is the mask that the I is wearing, the mask that covers the I so that the I can be immersed into the dream. If the I is not wearing the eyepiece, the ego, you cannot be immersed into the dream. And so this is what I will be talking about today. One must wear this duality consciousness to participate in the dream illusionary creation. So, everyone, all of the INIs are wearing this duality consciousness, the ego, to participate in this dream world, in this life movie. All the INIs are wearing this mask. This is the ego's mask of this Geist, that this Geist, the I self, the I is wearing the ego's costume and the mask. This body is the costume of the ego. It is this Geist in the I self that is animating this. The I is wearing this ego's mask so that the I can participate in the dream creation, so that the I can be this dream creation. And now the I must remove the mask of the ego to awake to the real, to end this horrible, horrible nightmare. This is what must happen right now. This nightmare must end. Know that this battle, this goes on. Right now, the I self is battling. This is why this song is chanting for the I self to be victorious, so that the I self can win this battle against the ego. Excuse me. Yes, and so this is what I will be talking about. So, welcome. I want to say thank the I for joining I. Welcome, welcome. And I am Primalite, prepared for this dream duality existence in this shattered, fragmented form, taking form in this body with this avatar as Auset Mahat. This is the I destiny. The I have a destiny that the I must fulfill, and that I rid this I self of all destinies. I return to I ultimate true state. So I want to give honor and reverence to all the I and I's, to all the I self. I said, I want to give honor and reverence to all the I non-dual self, the I real self that is now moving this duality existence to dissolution, because all the I and I self must awake and remove this mask. Remove this mask of the ego so that I can realize the I self. And this is all has been a dream in the I's imagination. This dream must end. So I want to say, hail to I self, non-dual, true self, unmanifest, non-being, singular self, the one true self. I want to say hail to all the I and I selves, the primal light self. Hail to all the I and I selves in alignment to dissolve the ego, false self, to return to the I ultimate true state. All is myself and I alone exist. Hail, 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 hail to I, the one true self, the primal light. Hail to I, the true light. Hail to I, the transparent light. Hail to I, the light throughout the ages. Hail to I, light without beginning nor end. Hail to I, self, supreme, primal light, the one true light, the one true self. I am primal light. I am the true light. I am primal light. I am the true light. I am primal light. I am the true light. I am the one true self. I am that. I am that has no name. I am that can't be explained. I call to the I primal light self. I call to the I primal teacher, guru. I call to the I eternal truth. I call to I eternal self. I call to the I, the great supreme wisdom within. I call to the I, great supreme intelligence within. I call to the I, great supreme teacher within. Hail, hail, hail to I, primal light. Hail to I, the one true light, the one true self, non-being, stillness, unmanifest. I am victorious. I am triumphant. I am victorious. I am triumphant. All is myself. I alone exist. I bow to all the I and I selves in light, in self, and in truth. Much honor. I want to say thank the I so much for joining I. I want to give honor and reverence to the I self, restoring balance, calling all. To all the I and I selves that is in duality, that is wearing this ego, this false self. Now I must come awake. That I have been sleeping and I have been dreaming for far too long. And the time is now when the I must come awake. So are you ready? It is time. So in this segment, I want to highlight who is Lucifer and how did Lucifer come into being and why so many human beings engage in a horrendous crime in the name of God, Lucifer, the devil, and Satan. Why the I must remove this ego mask that the I is wearing. It is the only thing that is preventing the I from seeing truth, from seeing the real, and from seeing things as they are. This ego that the I is wearing and being is what is causing the suffering and all of this horrendous crime that ones are committing, whether it be the gods or whether it be human beings committing these horrendous crime against itself. It is all because they are wearing this ego. It is now when all of the I and I selves must move from this ego, false existence, and return back to the I self. The time is now. It is now to do this. So, in this slide, I want to explain how the I, the duality, because remember, we must always remember this, all is myself. This is very important for the I to know that all is the I self, whether it is the most horrendous thing that is happening in the world, know that it is the I in the ego that is doing this. That's why it is your responsibility to come into true self-realization and stop this horrendous crime that this yourself is doing in its ego form. If you don't see all as yourself, it's going to be hard for you to understand what is happening in the world and your role that you must play. So it is very important for the I to come to this realization that it is the I in all of this form. The ego does not see all as itself. This is why the ego fights against everyone else, and everyone is choosing sides. The gods are making this possible, sorry, that ones are choosing sides. They're choosing different gods, they're choosing different deities, and they are doing a lot of horrendous things, a lot of evil behaviors. When you come into realization that all is the I self, what can you choose? You can only choose yourself. And if yourself is doing all of these evil, horrendous things, these horrible things, what are you going to do about it? You must stop yourself from doing this. It is hurting. It is hurting you, the self, and all of the I selves. All right? So the I self supreme, the non being, stillness, one true self, nothingness, unmanifest, pure self, the one true self, singular, pure self, exists alone. The I self exists alone. So when the I was wanting to make this dream existence, the I did not make a replica of itself, because this is the great problem in the world, because the I self singular makes a baby self. Now that baby self makes a self replica. That becomes the first duality. The I, the pure true self, remains the one true singular self, because if it had made a duality of itself, we would have been stuck into this horrible nightmare and would have been so hard to get out of it. So victory, give honor that the I self use its have its self intelligence, knew exactly what it was doing. Beside the fact that it did not know how the duality was going to be so hard for it to return back to its real self. This was the problem. So the I singular self, non being, nothingness, unmanifest, pure self makes a baby self called the baby non-being pure self, right? Makes a duality. This becomes the first dual self. So you see, now there's one self, now we have two selves. This is the self-replica, right? Now this baby self is going to make itself a baby self, right? So its self-replica becomes the duality. So you see, it is the exact same thing. It's now only that this self is going to go into sleeping and dreaming, because this is the self that will wear the ego, the duality consciousness, right? Let's go to the next slide. Now, here we have the baby self of the singular self, the supreme primal light, the one true self, that baby self, right? Now mix a baby self that becomes the first light, the primordial light, right? Now that primordial light self now makes a self replica. Now this self replica becomes the primordial darkness. This primordial darkness is what is known as Lucifer. That is the self that is in duality, that is wearing the ego, the duality consciousness. Everyone that wants to experience the duality must wear this ego disguise, this duality consciousness. This duality self of the primal light, that called the primordial darkness, is the one that brings into being all of those white beings called the Pleiadians, that they are all They all arise from Lucifer. Now, everything that the primordial light baby self does, its duality self do the same thing, except that these beings that rise from the primordial light, they all rise as black. No, everything that rise, all of the beings that rise from the primordial darkness, they arise as white. Because they are devoid of light, they have no light. Because they rise inside of the dream, Lucifer is black, but everything that rises from Lucifer is white. Because Lucifer has no light to give to all of the self, the beings that is rising from Lucifer. Lucifer in the dream is wearing the ego, the duality consciousness, and does not have any light to give to any of the beings that rise from itself. And so every self that rise in here becomes the fake self because they rise as a duality to all of the real self that rise from the primordial light. So I'm going to give you an example. There was um, the 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 fake primal light, which came to me, but I did not understand it when I was going through the process, which was Lucifer. So Lucifer came, and but because Lucifer started out as the primal light, the self replica, but because Lucifer's light has been obscure, Lucifer is wearing the ego duality consciousness. Lucifer becomes the primordial darkness. So Lucifer was trying to trick me, and because they all wanted for me to join them. So when each of them come to me, they say, "Join me, merge with me," and I said no because within my awareness, I I said I don't want to be into this world anymore, and I don't want to be a part of this war, and it seemed like it was just always a battle, so I never wanted to join anything. I was so happy that that was in still within me, that I only wanted to exit this dream, to be done with it. This was what saved me from them not deceiving me. I did not want anything into this dream, and I was so adamant about it because I could have been easily tricked. And then when I inquire, "Who are you?" and it says Lucifer, and I'm saying, Lucifer, because I was confusing Lucifer with the light. But then the self explained things to me, so that I understood that Lucifer was itself replica of the primordial light. This was later on that I understood this, and the Lucifer's light has been turned off, because Lucifer, once you wear the ego, this duality consciousness, it puts you into sleep, and the ego takes over. The ego takes over Lucifer, and Lucifer is no longer having awareness. Now Lucifer becomes this primordial darkness, this supreme ego character. And so this is why so many are into this dream calling and Lucifer, and because especially the whites. When I say the whites, I mean the ones, the self, all the I that are wearing this white body. They worship Lucifer, and because they was in a lot of what do they call, what do they say, they're channeling into the Pleiadians, and They all rise, all the Pleiadians arise from Lucifer. So this is why they become a big Lucifer worshippers. And because Lucifer needs light, because Lucifer is light, the reason and the light and the self is indivisible. So this creates a horrible sickness in Lucifer. Lucifer want light. Lucifer is mind is crazy. Lucifer mind is very sick. Lucifer is suffering. Lucifer is mad. Yeah? And this is why they are doing all of these blood sacrifice and all of these crazy things to Lucifer, because Lucifer wants light. Lucifer is in a horrible condition because of the ego, the duality consciousness that has taken over Lucifer. Lucifer is light, and now Lucifer can be light because of this ego. This is the battle that is going on right now. The I, primal light, self is now pulling the ego off of Lucifer, and it's a big battle to get this ego off of Lucifer so Lucifer can now return back to being light and to being pure, taking this ego impureness off of Lucifer. So I am telling all of you all, stop calling on Lucifer. Please allow Lucifer to return to truth. Stop, because Lucifer cannot go out there and get those children and slaughter them. Lucifer cannot do that. What Lucifer can do, Lucifer can go in somebody's body. He can make someone not enter back into the body. He can do those things, but that blood drinking and blood sacrifice and doing those things, Lucifer cannot do it, because Lucifer does not is is a is a primordial self, is a primordial being. So Lucifer, you, the human beings, are doing these actions. Stop it, what you are doing, and stop calling on Lucifer so Lucifer can return to pureness. You should be busy purifying your mind and stilling your mind. This now is when you do this. Stop it. What you're doing. What you're doing is wrong. You're doing evil. It is not right. It is imbalance. You're causing suffering to all yourself. You need to wake up from this ignorance. Because if you are doing these horrendous things to babies and infants and doing all of these things, and you are not seeing that what you are doing is wrong, is not right, your mind is sick also. You need to be healed. Stop calling on Lucifer. Now is the time. I self, the primal light, is restoring balance to Lucifer. Lucifer is fighting, and the self, Lucifer, needs to be healed. Lucifer is sick. That's why you're doing those crazy things. Stop it. All right? The time is now. All of those Pleiadian white beings, they are the ego. They are not real, and they have been now dissolved back into Lucifer. If you are meeting a Pleiadian beings, know that it's just the mind that is doing this. They all have been dissolved back into Lucifer, because Lucifer now, light must be restored, and those beings can no longer exist. They only rise in the dream. And like I said, they rise as the fake self. So just like Aten Ra, there was a fake one, there was a fake Shiva, a fake Shiva Shambho, a fake Isis in the white form. You know, they everyone that rise in the real, they have Lucifer create a fake one to deceive everyone in the dream. That's why when I was traveling through Mexico and I am meeting all of these selves of mine that is wearing these white bodies. And when I tell them that I am Auset, I am Isis, and they're looking at me all weird, they say they said they are Isis. I said I am the real. I am right here. And so because they are all witches, so when they try to challenge me, and then they had to, when they went in to do their challenge, they saw that I was the real, and whatever they was connecting to was fake. Yeah. And so the one that was in the circle with them, um she says, oh, I know who you are. I know that. She says to them that yes, it's true, she's Auset. She was having, because she was doing a lot of witchery or whatever they do, and she was saying that she remembers me from Kemet, when she and I used to play together. She and I, we went back like many eons ago. So she was also wearing the white skin. And so, because I was just in a, mostly in Mexico where I was moving. I mean, I wasn't moving around anyone with dark skin or black skin. So some of them was skeptical, but they knew there was something like really powerful about me. They just didn't understand. So they came to battle with me, especially in the night. That's when they come, all the witches. They come to battle with you to try to get your soul. So they all had a rude awakening when they came. And so I am saying, stop it. Just stop it, please. The time is now to stop all of this. Right? So the self, let me go back to the next screen again. Yeah, so the self, the all of the beings that rise from the the primal the primal lights, they're all here. So we have the non being, the stillness, unmanifest self. Then we have, that's the baby self from the singular self. Then we have the primordial light. So from which is the primordial darkness is the self replica. So all of these now becomes the duality. Everyone is wearing the ego mask, and when they wear the ego to participate in the dream, the ego takes over and put everyone to sleep. This is the predicament that all of the INI is in. This is why ones are doing so much evil things, because you are wearing this mask of false perceptions, of illusions, and false self, and the I has been entranced in it. All of these selves, everyone is inside of each other, right? Coming down all the way to us that exist in the world. This is all of ourselves inside of each other. Now, the primordial self, all of this duality is being built on the screen of the I self, right? The non being, pure true self. And each self, its duality is being built on itself. It becomes the screen on which the duality is built. Like the world that we are in, Aten Ra, she becomes the screen on which the world is built. So for each level of the creation, it's a level of the duality. and each of the self is smaller than its previous self because it's a baby to itself. And the duality is built on that self that makes the self replica, right? So everything in the dream is using the mind intelligence of the ego. It's all the selves are sleeping and entranced in the dream because the mind, the consciousness is dreaming. They become in a spirit self, um, and they become magnetic. They have no protons, no lights. They're only wearing the ego, and all of the selves above the realm, they are not the shattered, fragmented self like we are wearing them. Like all of the self that arise from Lucifer, they they are not shattered like we are. All of the self that arise from the primordial um, light, they are not shattered. They are the pure self, and the ones from the primordial darkness, Lucifer, they are also not shattered like we are. They have masculine and feminine in one self. Only thing that they are doing is that they are wearing the duality consciousness, right? The screen which the duality existence is being played out is the I self, supreme primal light. On every level, there is a self. On every level, the self becomes the screen on each of these levels. All right. Because this video I am focusing on Lucifer, on the battle that is going on right now between the primordial light and the primordial darkness, for them to be unified one, because the light must be restored back onto Lucifer, so that all of those crazy human beings can stop calling on Lucifer, and Lucifer can stop going to them to do crazy things. The end of this duality. So, what are black holes? Black holes is the self, the baby of the primordial light. Yeah? The primal light, this is its baby. Now, the baby self of the primordial light is called that which has no name, that can't be explained, because this is all the self is explaining to us, or giving us clues of how to identify ourselves, because we are in false self-identification. We do not know ourselves, and we are very confused because all of the dualities, they have confused us, and everyone is seeking things outside of themselves. This is a dream, and it's all a game, a life movie, a play, a movie, that you cannot believe any of the characters in the dream. They are just here to deceive you, especially anyone that show up as a god. If anyone show up to you and tell you that they are God, know that they are the deceivers. Yourself is going to say, I am you. You ask, who are you? If they say, I am you, those duality, they are deceiving you. If they are telling you, because the ego cannot be you and answer you. It's going to have to tell you who. It has a name. All the ego have a name. But you can identify all as yourself, but not your real self. Yourself that is playing a role. There's a difference. So because they are playing a role, that role playing, like for instance, you're watching a movie, say, well, all right, so let's look at the Matrix movie. So you are the character, um, Fishburne, right? Lawrence Fishburne is the self playing the character. What's the character name that he plays? Oh gosh, okay, hold on. He plays Morpheus. So that character Morpheus cannot come and say, I am you, the real. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? Because it is the character being played in the dream. You see what I'm saying? So God cannot come and say, I am you, when it's playing a character. If God comes to you and you say, who are you? And they say, I am you, then he's trying to trick you, because he's playing a character in a dream as God. That's the character he's playing is called God. It's not you. It's a false character. But yourself, the pure self, is going to come to you and say, I am you. Always it's going to say, I am you. The self. I am you. I am the self. I am you. I am you. I am you. So always ask, because this is a great deception. All right. The black hole, remember that there are many different black holes, because the self is making replica and the self is making baby selves. So, but the biggest of all the black hole, that is the baby of the primordial light, the primal light, baby self. Yeah. And so all of the selves are moving to restoring balance to all of itself that is wearing this ego false self. So we have a battle going on where all of the dream characters are fighting against their real self. The electromagnetic selves and the magnetic selves, beings. What is the void unmanifest? The void unmanifest is the baby of the that the that which has no name, that cannot be explained, which is the black hole. So that is the void unmanifest. And the void unmanifest is the primal light self with the destiny to be the intelligence that study and record all that is happening to the I self in the duality dream creation. The void unmanifest is the self-intelligence that all other self is anchored inside of this void. It's an invisible force and it's unmanifest. So all of the selves, the real selves, are anchored into the void, so that the duality will not pull it out, and so that the self can learn about itself in every aspect of this duality. Like the self, the soul is anchored into the void, and the gods them could never dismantle the soul from out of the void, because when they swallow the soul, the void is inside of them trying to figure out how to solve this problem, and learning about the inside of when the self is in duality, what is happening. So this is what the void unmanifest self does. It's unmanifest, it's invisible force, and it is learning about every aspect of the duality that we cannot see with these eyes. That's why we can never see ourselves looking through the eyes of this ego, these false perception. This is why the eye is invisible to the eye, animating this body. So, what is the ego? So, the ego is the tainted mind, the consciousness that think it is a self, and it is the mind of Ra. She is the one that is wearing this duality consciousness, and everyone that comes into the dream, she gives a replica of it to everyone so that they can experience the dream duality existence. So every one of the selves who is in duality, they are wearing a piece of this ego. The same mind that you have, the same mind, the consciousness that everything have, the birds, the animals, everything that have, it's being created with this same consciousness. The flowers, everything. The duality mind, this mind without light, the mind sleeping and dreaming, creating from its imagination. Ego self is a dream character, the mind avatar created by the mind to explore this dream world instead of its real self. So the I is exploring in a ego false self and not in the I real self. The real self goes to sleep, and because the ego took over and tranced the self in a sleep, and the ego false self arises. The ego false self is the bane of our existence. Ego being is the God self. The mind being, called the dualities, right? Known in the world also as the deities, the gods, the angels, the archangels. Know that though all of those, they arise from the Pleiadians, all of those white beings, the gods, Satan, the devils, the human beings. They are all the ego false selves. Ego has risen up and has taken precedence over the I am, the baby self. Ego has stolen the self's identity. And this is why the self has to rise up to face the ego and to let the ego know that it is in command. That's why the ego rises up and let the mind know it have to rise up to do this. And this is the reason why it is important for the I and I to chant this: I am in command. Mind, be still, because remember, it is the mind that is doing all of this. Is the mind that is causing this same consciousness called the Christ consciousness to confuse you, the duality consciousness. It is the supreme ego. It is the supreme narcissist. It is the supreme bully, because this is what all of the ones who are wearing it becomes. They bully you. They use force. They use brutality to get what they want. Ego has risen up and has taken precedence over the I am, the baby self. Ego has stolen the self's identity. Ego has tranced the baby great I am self in its dream and has looped the self in its imagination. Ego false self, the mind avatar, has cocooned its real self in its magnetic energy so that its real self does not wake up. Can you imagine this? This is what the ego has done. So when the ego was finally pulled off of I. Right now, I want to share with you, because I want you to know, I want to encourage you to keep doing your meditation of stillness. This is all the meditation that I need to do, is stillness of this mind, and is to dissolve this ego false self, to get the teacher within to rise up, to pull this ego off of the I. This is the process. So when the ego was pulled off of I, Auset, Mahat, the dualities, they came to deceive I. All of them came. Consciousness came, and many of them, they also came to see I, because they said, oh, Isis has risen. Isis has risen. And so they all came to see me. They were all sitting around me, in a circle around me. And, Set the devil, was calling me the name of when I was in Kemet, and was telling me to join him. Thought came, thought as Satan came, Lucifer came, and they want me to join them. I had to let them know that I will never join you, because this is what I'm trying to explain to you, that these gods are going to come wanting you to join them. Do not make any alliance with any of these dualities. Denounce all ties to them, because this is what they do. When you're coming in awareness, they come to tempt you. They will try to make your life, the existence of things difficult for you to achieve things, because they want you to beg them, to say, God, give me this, God, give me that. And then God will say, oh, I will give you this and this if you join me, if you serve me, and you must denounce all things to the world, that I don't care. You can take away whatever you want to, and you must stand your ground, because yourself will make ways for you. And they will come to tempt you, to offer you things and to give you things, and always want to feed you. If you ever into a meditation, you see them coming wanting to feed you all the time, giving you food and offering you things and telling you to join them. It's a trickery. You must always inquire who speaks, who are you? And remember that only yourself, they cannot deceive you and say, I am you, I am yourself, because they are not being yourself. They are coming to you in a dream character. So that dream character is not yourself, but it is you in the ego false self. You see the difference? So don't be tricked by them. Yourself will say, I am you. I am the self. I am you. I am you. Or this, like what the self said to me, I am primal light. Because that was the self of Aten Ra that I encountered first, and that's what she said. She actually put it within me. She says, I am primal light. She was telling me who I am. I am primal light, prepared for the world. I am ready. That was what she told me. And then for like a week, I was chanting this. She was giving me confidence to let me know that I was ready to face them, because they were battling with me. And so I had to say that over and over to gain my confidence. I am primal light, prepared for the world. I am ready. I am primal light, prepared for the world. I am ready. I am ready. Like that. because I did not have any confidence in myself. I could not believe this existence of all of this, the craziness of the dualities and the gods, and I could not fathom that I was the self doing these things, you know? It took me saying this over and over and affirming within myself, so until I gained my confidence, all right, of the important role that I play. Because remember, I had a battle started with myself and Set many eons ago, you know, because, and I had to finish and face Set, because for many lifetimes I was um, hiding from Set, you can say, but he's always found me. And this was the first thing that he said to me: I told you that I would find you, you know? So never wanting for me to rise up, to come awake into the dream, to come to true self realization, and to fulfill my destiny as Auset, as Mahat. Because right now I am on the destiny now to fulfill the whole destiny. Because first I was doing the Auset part of the destiny, and now I have to merge, you know, with Mahat, to bring to now for the restoration of balance and of the light, for all wants to for the light to be restored back onto all the ionized selves. So that's why now I am taking on now the destiny and of on the role of Mahat, which is myself, but I was mostly playing the Isis Aset role of dealing with the gods them first, getting to meet all of them, because Aset is a warrior, you know, because I was very calm and so very, very simple, you know, powerful, simple, very childlike, very kind, very, and working with the gods, they have made me, I had to become very fierce, you know, and get very cross sometimes. So, so, know that I have to be like this with the ego, because it is constantly trying to deceive me. And because myself has been so pure all the time, I was always wanting to believe in everyone was like me. And the self had to show me that everyone who is wearing this ego, they're always going to try to deceive me. So I have to be on a guard for that. So it took me all of these years to finally know, just get that fully, that everyone that comes to me, I first have to identify myself to them, tell them what I am about, and and so they know right up front. So whatever they are planning and thinking, right away I just cut it off. Because I have ones contacting me and they are very deceiving. And right away, I always ask them, who are you? How do the I identify? What does the I seek? And then I tell them about myself and what my job is. And if you are not here to learn how to take off this ego false self, then you have contacted the wrong being. So keep moving on until you are ready. And so this is the first thing I tell one, because I cannot sit here and have regular conversation with you, because I know I have a mission and I have to be like this with this mission, because otherwise the ego wants to get me distracted and get all these ones to come and try to deceive me. There's so many times this has happened. So my experience with the ones around um so when I was going through this process, and the ones them around they, when I was telling them that all of the gods them are coming and you know, Allah and his crew, Archangel Michael, Set, and all of them, because Set went to get all of them now to fight me. And I'm sitting and I'm calling a few friends. I say, can you come and just some chant with me, playing the bowls and stuff. And when I had two friends that came, because I was so terrified. This was when this was just happening, and the two friends came and they brought another friend with them, and they came, and Set took over their minds, and especially the women are more powerful against them. It took over the guy, and they was the way they were behaving. They were, I mean, it was so crazy. And then it was like they would want to hold me hostage. They wanted to hold me hostage. And then when I said to them, listen, I am going to go into the bathroom, right? I need to use the restroom. This is how I got out of the room from them, because Seth took over them, and the guy was saying, why don't you give them what they want? Because, and I said, and I'm explaining to them, I'm saying, remember when the blacks were enslaved, and people see this and know that it was wrong and was fighting against this slavery. I said, this is the same thing that's happening with the souls. They are in slavery, and I will not give them my soul. I will not. I will fight to the end. You will not. I will not join you, and you cannot have myself and enslave me. And so he was like, who do you think you think that you are better than us? You know, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? You think that you are better than us? And I said, no, I am not better than anyone. But right now, I know who I am, and I know that I fought to get myself liberated from this slavery, to wake myself up, and I will not join these crazy-minded gods. And they it was like they was wanting to hold me hostage. You know, I had a book that I had bought, because even I was reaching out to Sadhguru, because he was the guru of the age, you know, where people have so many followers, and I'm saying he must know how do you how did he get through all of the gods them, and what was I wanted to know. And so I was trying to read I'm trying to reach out to anyone. How did you manage to um able to have the gods them not do this to you? And so he had a book that was written called Death, and I had purchased the book and was looking through the book, and they saw the book in here. They taken the book away from me. They said, why are you calling on, why are you talking about Shiva? um Shiva is an Hindu god. I mean, everyone just turned against me. And so I said, you know what, I need to go to the restroom. This is how I got out of the room. And I went into the bathroom, and I locked the door, and they was pounding. Let me listen to me when I tell you, pounding, pounding the bathroom door down. And I said, I'm sorry that I called you guys here to get you guys involved. I thought that maybe you guys could have just helped me to chant with the bowls and this, but I did not know that this was going to happen. So you guys are of no use to me right now. I appreciate if you guys leave. And it took them a while to leave, because the Set and all of the gods them had taken over their minds, and everybody was going crazy on me. And then one of my family members said, oh, they're gonna call the police so they can take me to some hospital or something. So this is what these dualities will do. They will get the ones around you to say that you're crazy, when I'm saying that, look how you're behaving right now. I say you're banging down this bathroom door. I am sitting down in stillness, because the gods are on me. I'm trying to, and Shiva is helping me to to pull the goddamn out of the head. The self is in the body helping me, and I am sitting really calm. And while they are going crazy, I am calm. And so I am saying this to say that those ones around you, they do not understand anything. When those dualities come and take over them, they will say that you are crazy and call the police and call these people on you. I don't know if you have had this experience. You can let me know. And I said to my family member, really, you are threatening me to call the police on me? I said exactly what I told you, exactly what's happening. The gods them not now have taken over your mind, and look how you are behaving towards me. You have known me for so many years. Have you ever known me to be delusional? I am telling you, not because you don't see it and you're not experiencing it, it's not what's happening. And this is what they have done, because they have tricked one into believing that the devils don't exist, that these gods don't exist, that Satan don't exist, that those evil beings, demonic beings don't exist. This is the problem. And so when you are telling them that they are doing these things to you, because they'll come and take over their minds, they're not even in awareness of it. But you, the real, will know this. So you can tell me what has been your experience with the ones them around you, because I tell you, I learned a lot that day when I saw how it took over everyone, and everyone started becoming afraid. From that day until now, so many ones, they have not spoken to me. And the other ones them that I used to be close with, it wasn't a lot, just a few, like two friends really. I really like sisters, two sister friends. And all the ones them that was the coming to the life family with you, with I, yeah, this was what was happening. And it was insane. I could not, I mean, I believed it, because it was happening. But it was just like, wow, how they can just make this happen like this, because the gods them wanted for the police them cause and all of them to come and do this. And so, but the self, while I was in there, I stayed into the bathroom, and I never came out of the bathroom. I just sat on the floor in there until they all left. And I just said, thank you. You know, you're of no help to me. This is something that I have to do on my own. And this was when I realized that this was a destiny that I had to tread all alone on my own, by myself, with no assistance from anyone wearing a body, only myself, the invisible self. Um, and that they will never understand this. And so that was my experience when the ego was pulled off of I, when all of them came, and when I was but now it's been so many years now. So now I am no longer terrified of all of those dualities, because I have learned all of myself that is the non-dual, and I learn who they belong to, all the dualities, and I know that each of the non-dual selves are balancing out their duality. Whenever they come on me, their duality self is balancing it out with them. That's what this battle is right now, for all of those, for the ego to be removed from off of all of the self. So why should I castrate this ego, false self? Why should I remove this ego? I castrate this ego fake self, this made up character impersonating my real self. I castrate this ego false self so that my real self can arise and take precedence over its mind. I castrate this ego to liberate my real self from slavery and false imprisonment. I castrate this ego to awake from the dream, to come into the real, to see things the way that they truly are. I castrate this ego and turn my light back on. Liberation from this dream. This is the reason why I must castrate this ego, right? The battle to remove the ego off of the self. This is what is happening right now. So be vigilant. This console that this being is wearing over its eye, it's allowing this eye to be in the virtual reality world, right? This ego is the mask that the eye is wearing. Every one of the eye self that is participating as the dream character, as a duality, they are wearing this ego. When you put this ego mask on, it puts the self to sleep, and now it creates the ego false self in the dream. One must wear this duality consciousness to participate in the dream illusionary creation, right? No, that I must remove the mask of the ego to awake to the real. Are you ready to do this? You have to be vigilant. You are going to be tempted. Do not yield to temptation. Do not yield, because they're going to tempt you with food. They're going to come and feed you. Listen to me. All of those gods, the duality, the conscious, they're going to come to feed you. They're going to come to give you things of the dream, whatever you want in the world. They want to tempt you. They're going to say, come join me. You must be vigilant to refuse their offer if you want to be consciously aware of yourself, to be in self-realization. Do you want to be in self-realization? Then you must denounce the Theists and refuse their offer to join them. The I is just playing a character in the game of life. All things created must come to an end. What is coming to an end? Only the dream. Only the dream characters. Remember the movie? You're watching the movie, right? The Matrix. So say we are close to the end of the movie. It's a screen that is reeling the movie to the end. This is what it is. So right now, the screen that we are on playing this movie called life, it's reeling towards the end right now. The movie is ending. The dream is ending. Not yourself, silly. The ego is ending. The age of the ego is ending. It is time for the I to take responsibility, to dissolve this ego, to pull this ego off of the I self. You need the help. You need the I, your real self, called the soul. You cannot do this on your own. You need your real self, the soul. Make sure that you are calling for your soul. This is the meditation that you do. Stillness of this mind. Calling to the I self, the soul, to return back to this body. You no longer want to exist. I no longer want to exist as this ego false self. I want to return to I ultimate true state, to a unified self. Where do we go from here? We Return to truth. Where do we go from here? Do you want to continue to be a prisoner inside of a dream? Because they are selling this right now. They are selling this right now. They want to block out the sun. They want to do all of these things. They are creating screens to block out the sun because they know that the sun is doing what it's supposed to do to give everyone enough energy so that everyone can start self-inquiring, so everyone, the soul, can now be unified with the spirit self, so that everyone, the teacher within the soul, can rise up and pull this ego off of the self, so that this dream will end, but they will not succeed. These human beings, they are just as evil as the gods. They have been holding us in false self awareness and in lies and propaganda for eons, these human beings. And right now, they are trying to prevent us from evolving. So I am telling you that you need to now take responsibility, stand up to this ego, and come into true self-realization. They want to be a prisoner inside of a dream because they are already the dream character and they will be dissolved. Why they want to hold us in the dream? Because they are not real self. They are not the real selves. They are the ego false selves trying to hold us inside of this dream. And we will not allow that to happen. I self is busy right now dissolving this dream. And human beings, you will not be successful in your evil doing that you are doing. Evil doings must stop. Yes, I'm talking to all human beings, and I am not afraid of you. Yeah. So all the ones them who are secretly watching you have no power over I. I am sovereign. I have no ties to this dream, to these dream characters, not even the dream name that I was given. I denounce all ties to everything in this dream. I denounce all ties to every government situation, government ID, government everything. I am sovereign in here. I am primal light. So you have no power over I. Your laws and rules does not govern I. Know this. Do you want to be a prisoner inside of a dream forever? They will be dissolved because they are not real. They arise from the dream and have been holding us in hostage in here, all you human beings. I'm talking to you. You know who I am talking to. I don't need to call no names. You know who I am. You've been watching I. But the self is watching you. Can you see yourself, your real self? Not those ego dream characters who have been influencing you in doing wrong, being evil. Evil must end. The suffering must end. Do you desire to be the real and not the dream? No. I stay vigilant because remember that the I is sleeping and the I mind is dreaming. This is not real. What you're fighting for, human beings? Human beings, what are you fighting for? This dream illusionary existence. What are you fighting for, human beings? the level of ignorance. Now, take off your ego mask and see this world is not real. You are wearing the ego disguise. Yeah, I stand and I speak with authority. The I is using the I imagination. It is just a game. It is not real. It is your imagination creation. Take off the ego's mask. Stop what you are doing. Stop it. It is now to move from duality to non-duality. It is now to remove this ego. Stop being this ego fake self and return to the I ultimate true state. To return to being the I real self. This duality, the ego, the false self, the slavery, the ignorance, the darkness, the chaos, the dream, asleep, and the sick mind, the delusional mind must end. It's now for non-duality, self-truth, light, being awake, self-unity, balance and harmony, liberation, the real. It is now. So, this is a message from the I, Primal Light. Salutation to all beings, human beings, God beings, supreme beings. I am yourself, supreme, primal light, the unmanifest. And I am here to return all of myself back unto I. All is myself, and I alone exist. All of you, myself, have been enslaved inside of my duality consciousness dream. I am here to dissolve this dream so all myselves will wake up from sleeping. It is time to return to balance and harmony. It is time to return to I ultimate true state. Please practice stillness and self-inquiry so that the I can come to self-realization. I want to say hail to the I, self, the primal light. Remember that the primal light, the primordial darkness is the self-replica, and the self is right now battling with its duality self to restore light, to end this horrible, horrendous nightmare. This is the question that the I and I must ask. Who am I? If you don't ask, how are you going to know? It is so simple. You ask this question until the I self rise from within the self, the soul, to answer the I. The self will answer you. Say, who am I? The self will say. The self will rise up and answer and tell you who you are. Keep asking. I am that has no name. And then until that happens for you, you keep affirming within yourself these affirmations, because that was what I did. I affirm within myself these affirmations so that this ego can know that I am not this ego. I am that has no name. I am that can't be explained. I am primal light. I am the luminous, pure consciousness. I am not this duality consciousness. I am that I am. I am the ultimate truth. I am the eternal self. I am formless, timeless, boundless, deathless, limitless. I am the unmanifest. I am the one true self. I am the one true light. I am non being, stillness, unmanifest, the one pure, singular self. I want to thank the I and I for joining I. May all beings know the I self. I am primal light, prepared for the world with the identity of Auset Mahat. I bow to I and I in self, in light, and in truth. I want to thank you so very much. Hail, 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 hail. Salutation to the neutral self, primal light. Hail, hail. Salutation to our parent self, primal light. Hail, hail. Salutation to I self supreme, primal light. Salutation to the sun. Hail, light in the world for all to see. Holding the balance in duality. Primal light, pure consciousness be. Hail, hail to the self supreme, the neutral self, primal light, one and only unicorn, warrior for the cause, allowing the world just because all is one in myriads of forms. Hail, 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 hail. Salutation to the self supreme. Hail, hail to the neutral self, primal light. Hail, hail to the world's heart, holding the balance scale on a battlefield in a dual fate, fighting for the lost souls to be free. Oh, primal light, Mother Supreme. Oh, primal light, Mother Supreme, win the victory. Victory, win the victory. Victory, win the victory. All souls are free. All selves are free. Victory, victory, victory. The world is balanced, the world is harmony. Victory, victory. Oh, primal light, Mother Supreme. Hey, hey, Mother Supreme. Hey. Salutation to I self supreme, neutral self, primal light. Hail to I self supreme, Supreme Sun, Aten Ra, the atom. Hail, hail to the Supreme Sun. If you close your eyes, the world goes into dark. Recreate the world, give it a new start. Non-dual world, non-dual beings, non-dual pure consciousness. Oh, Primalite, Mother Supreme. Oh, Primalite, Mother Supreme, win the victory. Victory, win the victory. Oh, win the victory. Win the victory. Victory. All souls are free. Victory. All selves are free. Victory. The world is balanced. The world is harmony. I self is balance, I self is harmony. Victory, victory, victory. All is I and I, unity, victory. Light a candle, balance to the world. Light a candle, by the time the candle blow out, prime my light, the self-supreme. Triumphantly rise, calling ourselves to be self-harmony. Win this battle, this war with me, cause the time has come to gain balance and harmony overall itself. Training ourselves to be self, yeah, the war must cease. Create electrical magnetic harmony. Light a candle and balance to the world. Self-supreme, ushering the new dawn. Balance and harmony is called. Balance and harmony. Join in harmony, non-duality. Primal way to be still in harmony. Say victory, self-harmony, self-harmony, non-duality. Victory arise triumphantly, bringing harmony, balance to the world. Harmony, maintaining equanimity, bring balance to the world. Bring balance, maintain massive harmony. Bring balance to the world. Equanimity, bring balance. Victory, victory arise triumphantly, bringing harmony and balance to the world. Conscious evolution for all. A fractal of self, aligned with self-supreme. In all the world, it's all of me. More to see, myriad and variety. Electrical, magnetic beams, different levels to perceive. Join on in harmony, balance to the world. Self-harmony, maintaining equanimity, balance to the world. Bring victory, arise triumphantly. Finally, I balance me. After eons of battling ego and greed, all me in every level of being obscured by ignorance, illusion, dream. All self bound to self-supreme, the master of me, fractal being, electrical magnetic being, join in harmony, non-dual harmony. Victory, I rise, equanimity, harmony, and balance to the world. Maintaining equanimity, balance to the world. Bring balance to the world. Self-harmony. Maintaining my equanimity. I rise triumphantly, bringing harmony and balance to the world.